Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, Tiger Tank 12, however you call me, I don't really care, welcome back to World of Tanks. Today we are just having a little bit of gameplay in the Eagle 7, also known as the Pershing, the T26E3 if I recall correctly, and it's one of those American Tier 7 premium tanks that you you can get your hands on in the Bond shop as well. And today's no review. We're just going to talk a little bit about this vehicle. We're going to be talking a little bit about Tier 7 in World of Tanks in general. And I think the next couple of days you'll see more Tier 7 gameplays because I've been playing Tier 7 a lot. It's currently one of the best tiers in my opinion. It's a lot of fun. Tier 6 is a lot of fun, but Tier 6 usually the tanks still feel like small tiers, low tier vehicles, but when you get to Tier 7, you feel there's a big jump. Tier 7 is a big jump, Tier 9 is a big jump, and then you have the Tier 10s, obviously, which are on another planet. But the Tier 7s, they're the very first tanks that become very specialized in what they're doing. There are Tier 7s that have mechanics that the Tier 6 didn't have prior, or that they kind of redefine a bit more. And I think that's very interesting. And I also wanted to show off a Pershing in the game because it's one of my favorite tanks in World of Tanks. It was one of my first Tier 8 tanks that I had before. Like, you have to go back in time at least 10 years. In 2012, I remember I unlocked the T110E5 after it was replaced, like after the T30 was replaced as a Tier 10. But I remember distinctively that I went for the medium tanks first, and the very first thing I did was I went to the Pershing. That was my first Tier 8. No, you know what? It was a Tier 7. The Pershing, now the question is right now, there was a T20, and it was a T23. The T23, I remember being a Tier 8 tank. The T23 was a Tier 8 tank, and the Pershing was either a Tier 7 or it was also a Tier 8. Or I might recall incorrectly, but I remember that the T23 was in there as well, and I had the T23 before they took it out. They took the T23 out very, very quickly, which is this tank now, but it had a different turret. The turret that the T23 had looked a bit differently from this T23 that we're currently playing, but I still remember that it led current to the M46 pattern. The M46 are at least the Tier 9 tanks. They weren't introduced immediately. They were, I think, added later on, but I might have a false memory right now, and I might just be scrambling things up. But either way, I love my Pershing. I loved the standard Pershing, but I haven't played it in about 10 years. And I'm very glad that I haven't played it in 10 years because I know that the Pershing is one of the worst Tier 8 medium tanks that are in the game at the moment. And there are a lot of factors to that. Probably the armor, not very good. Mobility, lacking. The gun, kind of all over the place. I remember that when I had no equipment. It was a pretty inaccurate tank. He had a very long aim time, but when you got the upgraded 90mm, it was really a lot of fun. You didn't have to fire a lot of premium shells. But yeah, why do I enjoy the Eagle 7 so much? Well, the Eagle 7 is actually one of those tanks that is just a blatant copy of the Pershing. This is the same Pershing that we have in the tech tree, except for the fact that it's running around at Tier 7 and it has the short 90mm gun instead of the long one. You also lack a little bit of HP. I think the standard Pershing has 1,500 HP. You only have 1,200, but you still have the same armor. You have the same armor on the turret. You have the same armor on the hull. And I think if you have the upgraded Pershing, you can still get a better turret at the end. I'm not really sure. I might say, I might just be telling a lot of bullshit in this video right here. But I recall that the Pershing, the stock variant definitely has the same armor layout on the turret and on the hull. And the interesting part is that this is one of those historical vehicles that actually did see combat in World War II. In Cologne, there's a very famous video about a Panther engaging a Pershing and a Pershing engaging a Panther, and where you can see where the Pershing actually knocks out the Panther. And it's a very interesting thing because the Pershing that you have right here is a lot better suited to tier 7 because it's a lot more fun. And the armor, which is kind of very bad at tier 8, all of a sudden doesn't seem to be that much of a problem. Right there, I'm a bit greedy. I don't go for more damage on the Steuerwaffenträger. I know that the artillery is going to be that, so I miss, and I do no damage right there. Unfortunately for me, we end the game with no additional damage, but still a very nice tank. A tank that I would highly recommend you guys to try out. It would be great to try it out first before you buy it, because I remember that the Pershing at tier 8 is not very good, but at tier 7 this thing is actually a lot of fun. And it's actually in the bond shop. I'm not sure how much it costs you right now. It probably is something along the lines of 5,000 bonds or 7,000 bonds at least. Because the IS-2 shielded was at least 7,000 bonds. Or 6,000 bonds. I think it was 6,000 bonds, yeah. So, hope you guys did enjoy. As always, comment, like, and subscribe. And see you guys in the next one.